What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran, and we're going back to their 1995 cover album, Thank You, once again. Once more, thank you to Philip for allowing me access to this album before I've gotten a copy of it. But yeah, we're going to listen to a tune called Perfect Day. Now, as I did with the last track, I looked this up a little bit beforehand. Apparently it was by Lou Reed. Now, Lou Reed is a name I know, and I knew he was associated with the Velvet Underground, but according to the bit of fact-checking that I did before doing the video, this is from Lou's second post-Velvet Underground album. I think it's called Transformer or Transformers. So yeah, I don't know much about his music. Like I said, it's a name that you hear over time if you're interested in music, but I've never really done a deep dive on any of his music intentionally, and the same thing with the Velvet Underground group. Like, I know that name and I've heard of sort of their music over the years, but I don't in particular have any experience like listening to their albums, so can't really speak to sort of what the original may sound like. The original was written in 1972, so yeah, Transformer, singular, 1972. It was on, it has a double A side with a major hit, Walk on the Wild Side. Interesting, I know Walk on the Wild Side, yeah, I've definitely heard that song. So I imagine that would be the case with Velvet Underground too. Like, I imagine, you know, if people started listing off songs, there might be one or two. It's like, wait a minute, I think I know that one. So yeah, apparently this was on a single with another track that I absolutely do remember hearing. But yeah, so we'll have to see if some of you know the way the cover here may depart from the original, or what ways it sort of stays true to the original, so we'll have to see. But from their 1995 album, this is Duran Duran covering Perfect Day, originally by Lou Reed in 1972. Oh, there's some like bass.
Just a perfect day. Drink sangria in the park. Then later, when it gets dark, we go home.
Feels like sedated.
Just a perfect day. Feed animals in the zoo. Just keep me hanging on. You just keep me hanging on.
You just keep me hanging on? It's weird, it was like euphoric, but again, it feels like euphoric, but like your head's like spinning.
Problems are left alone. Weekenders on our own. Such fun. Just a perfect day. You made me forget myself.
The synths and the like proper keys.
Someone else.
Very nice.
Someone new. Oh, it's such a perfect day. I'm glad I spent it with you.
female lead who loves this. She has like an interesting delivery there. It is sort of like epic ballad kind of feel. The tone of that one is really weird. It felt like, again, it was doing a couple different things. It was like very euphoric and, you know, sort of processual and ballad-like. But like I said, especially at the beginning, but even, you know, in the choruses, it felt like euphoric, but sort of like, you know, you're almost hypnotized, or your brain is like, you know, electrochemically drugged because you're so sort of enraptured in this feeling. So yeah, I was interested by that. And again, like talking to what seems like another person, maybe an intimate partner, someone that they're in a relationship with, but you know, maybe talking to the day itself. I'm not sure. So yeah, not knowing the original, it's hard to get a sense of, you know, the lyrics as well, because you know, even though you can maybe, you know, emphasize different lines differently, or maybe even work in some other lyrical material, although the more you do that, the less it becomes a proper cover, right? And the more it becomes like maybe an homage, though also just like an original song that, like, you know, pays tribute to another song. But yeah, it becomes less of a cover, I guess, when you bring in more of your own lyrics. So yeah, once again, not quite sure what to make of what was going on lyrically. Got to listen to it some more and perhaps compare it to the original. But yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed it. I like that sort of, it felt like it was not at cross purposes, because I think it very much worked, but it felt like it was sort of like satisfying two different masters. It made a little bit like trippy, for lack of a better word, but it also had this, again, very like warm and resonant feeling, and sort of this gradual procession across this perfect day, perhaps. So yeah, interesting tune. I enjoyed it. It'll be interesting as we go through this album, because I mentioned, I think, you know, the vast majority of the tunes I probably won't have heard the original, the exception of the opening tune, White Lions, perhaps notwithstanding. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because in most cases I won't have the original, not only to like compare and contrast, but also perhaps, you know, to like color my expectations in terms of like, I didn't really know what to expect here. In part, of course, because Duran can do something different that departs from the sound or the sort of, you know, structure of the original, but also like, if I've heard the original, then it's like, you know, I'm expecting certain things, whereas I go into this not knowing the original, so it's more of just an open-ended, like, let's see what this song does. So yeah, let me know what you think. Other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.